Hello everybody, welcome back. We are doing the Dark Souls 3 Archer build playthrough. Now you guys have started in, or you joined me. If you watched my first video, it was the beginning of Lothric Castle, just after the Dancer of the Boreal Valley has been defeated. I started at that bonfire, and that's where you guys have dropped in. I've chosen to do an Archer build. If you guys have never tried this, it is insanely difficult. The only weapon I use is a short bow. Now that being said, I'm out of arrows and you need something. So I use a long sword and the Silver Eagle kite shield, basic equipment. Not super powerful, but very versatile. I like this shield because it's light, blocks 100% physical damage, and you can do this very quickly. Its skill, rather than parry, is weapon skill, which allows me to do the two-handed weapon skill for my longsword very quickly, which is effective against people that use shields. Let me see if I can demonstrate that here. These guys are a pain. These cathedral knights, they use tower shields and they block a lot. They can do some decent damage, but they can be dealt with pretty efficiently if you're not me. And I seem to have found the one cathedral knight that doesn't like to use his shield. There we go. See, it actually staggers them back and you can stab them. And they do tend to be kind of slow. So once you get the rhythm for them, they're actually not super difficult if you're careful. Now once he enchants his weapon, he attacks and leaves those little white marks on the ground. Those actually explode, so you want to be careful of those. See? And that will damage you, knock you back, stagger you, etc. Now I've been invaded. This should be interesting. And what I'm actually going to do here is unequip some stuff. And let's go back to being an archer. And why don't we try and summon some health? That could be beneficial. Now that guy actually seems to have taken off, and I don't know where he's gone. I don't want to follow him that way actually, because I've already done that part, and there's no sense going back that way. Now it may or may not be easier for me to use the longsword and the shield in this case to fight this guy, but that kind of defeats the purpose of an archer build. Now I actually have two people. I got really lucky here, and I got a Blade of the Dark Moon. Now this guy comes to help me whenever I'm invaded, just because of the covenant I'm using. If you're not familiar with that, the covenants can be equipped here, and they all have different effects. Some of them summon you to invade others, some of them summon you to aid others. This one here, whenever I'm invaded, actually summons one of these guys, the Blades of the Dark Moon, to help me. Now he won't stay to help me beat the final boss. Once the Dark Spirit's dead, he'll actually return to his world. He'll get his rewards and be sent on his way. Now the white guys, they stay with me for the duration. Anybody you summon from the ground usually stays with you. Be careful who you summon though, because occasionally you run across summon signs that look like they're going to be people that help you, but they are in fact invaders. Just be careful. Don't just randomly click X on summon signs. You do actually want to pay attention to who you're summoning. upgrades since the last video. First and foremost, I have pumped massive amounts of money into my dexterity. I've upped to maybe 16 levels. I've also gone on some quests and gotten Haval's Ring, Ring of Favor, both of which up my equipment load, and the Ring of Favor actually gives me some extra stamina and HP and other effects like that. Very, very useful to have. Alright, so we are going to go this way. I've actually been helping people so much that I forgot I'm the host. And we found the invader.
Hey!
And he's found some help of his own. If we're lucky, we can dispatch of at least one of these guys before the invader. I forgot about this guy. The Blade of the Dark Moon's going to take care of that guy for the moment at least. Alright, thankfully, a very good Blade of the Dark Moon was summoned. Unfortunately for me, I was not able to summon a super talented Phantom. But there is another one right here. Thank you for your help just the same, whoever you were. He did dispatch of this guy. It says I'm unable to summon. Now what I'm going to do is take this opportunity to actually go back to the bonfire. To give me back some of my health drinks and my arrows and some of my wasted resources. Along the way I'm going to show you guys a cool trick. I'm not sure how much opportunity in the game there is to actually use this trick, but it is very, very useful in some circumstances, actually when you're being invaded or when you're on the run in general, which is game quite a lot. Now I'm on the way. One of the things I've figured out is that you can actually run into a ladder. Now if you're falling and running at the same time, you can actually land on the ladder and slide down it. Now as I say, I'm not sure how much opportunity there is in the game to use this, but there is one right here that I can demonstrate. This little hole here. Now if I actually run over this, I'll start to fall and I'll land on the ladder and actually start to descend, like so. Now that can be pretty useful if you are on the run, as I mentioned. Now ladders can be a little precarious if you're not a super experienced player, and as I say, I'm not sure how many opportunities there are to actually jump and land on a ladder, but it is good to know nonetheless. Oh, it doesn't work from the other direction apparently. Anyway, that's that. Let's heal up and go and see if we can find some more friends, and we'll go and beat this boss. I don't know if how many of you have actually played Lothric Castle, but it can be challenging. If you're an archer, it's probably one of the more difficult areas in the game. Now straight up here and through this door, this is a good area. There's lots of summon signs usually. It's a fairly common area. So if you want some allies, you want to hang around here for just a moment, okay? And it's a good area because when you first enter here, this door here is locked. You cannot go through here, and your only option is to proceed down the staircase, through the night, and down through the precarious swamp. This is a good area because you can summon allies here, whether this door is open or not. And if this door is open, this is actually a shortcut to the boss. Alright, we have some friends. Let's get the formalities out of the way. And let's get on with it. If you were watching my last video, you know my arrow guy is out of town, and I'm having a tough time that way. I've actually discovered that Grey Rat the Thief, the only guy that carries some decent arrows in this game, has most likely been killed. The reason being is because I killed Patches. I never really have figured out his storyline yet, and I haven't put enough effort into Googling it. And he drops me on this bridge every time, so rather than go through that, I just killed him. I thought it was a good decision because I got his armor and some cool stuff, a ring, and I got to cross the bridge finally. However, it did mess up Grey Rat's storyline, and he's ended up dying. So I can no longer buy standard arrows or large arrows for the remainder of the playthrough. This is problematic for an archer. That's your bread and butter. Those standard arrows are like gold. And without them, I am having kind of a tough time. So I found an umbral ash to give to the firekeeper, whoever that woman is that sells these stuff at the shrine, which has unlocked some new arrows. I can now purchase feather arrows. These aren't super strong, I'm not going to lie. They're not much stronger than the wooden arrows. They're quite a lot more expensive, but they go farther. And you know what, any improvement on the wooden arrows is an improvement, so we'll take it. I don't know why these guys have chosen to engage this guy. If you ask me, that was a silly decision. We could have just run past him. But we're in it now, so let's just deal with it. Now the other arrows I can buy from that Shrine Maiden are dark arrows. Also, well, they're pretty powerful, I'm not going to lie, but the problem with those is a lot of things in this game are resistant to dark. That's also problematic, because they end up doing less damage than the wooden arrows in many cases. Alright, I'm not going to backtrack and summon somebody. There is a summon sign here, thankfully, and it's still that guy. Apparently nobody likes him, but I'm going to give him a shot. I'm not going to forget about you this time. Now these guys, you want to deal with them whenever you see them, just because they heal everybody, all the enemies in the vicinity. They don't really do that much damage from range. They don't really do anything to you. But if I don't kill that guy, he heals these guys and makes them a great deal more difficult. And for a character using nothing but a bow, these guys are a challenge enough. And I've got a bad feeling that Mr. Blaze here is about to get himself killed. Now, if you didn't catch my first video, the first part of this archer build, the reason I choose the short bow is because you can actually quick fire while rolling. You can actually do a follow-up attack, which is very, very useful, especially when you are in a PvP situation or close combat. Being able to roll and then follow up with a quick attack like that, most people don't expect that from the bow and arrow, because it is usually quite a long wind-up. So yeah, I explained that in the first video if you want to catch that. Now the audio was very poor, but if you stick with it, it's kind of informative. It can be helpful. And here's another trick that you want to remember. You can buy an item from the Maiden called Dried Fingers. A lot of people don't know what this does. It is to be used with caution, as it says. I'm going to use it now because it allows you to summon another phantom. It lets you summon 3 phantoms rather than just 2. Now that's wicked. The danger being that it allows you to be invaded by more people and to be invaded more often. So you only want to use this when you're ready, or if you're looking to do PvPs. Very cool item to have. I'm going to wait for this guy to get summoned, and then we are going to go challenge a boss. If you've never seen the boss in this level, yikes. It's pretty difficult. It can be if you're not ready for it. Let's give it a shot. And I'm going to actually let the video play, just for those of you who've never seen it.
of the power of my beloved Ocelot, child of dragons. Well, I will not give him up, for he is all that I have.
Okay, some of the things you want to remember for this guy. He is pretty fast. I find I have the best success when I rotate to the left around him. A lot of his attacks, in particular his powerful attacks, tend to miss you that way. Now this guy, I think he's crystal element, so that makes him resistant to dark for one. So my dark arrows are pretty much out the window. And that also makes it so he can curse you. And for those of you that don't know, curse equals death. It doesn't matter how much health you have or, you know, anything like that. If your curse meter fills up, you die. You actually turn into crystal, and that's it. Game over. And he can do that with his breath attacks. He does fly around a lot, and he tries to hit you with the crystal breath. But it has a limited range, and if you're careful, it's not that menacing. Now once you get him down to half health, he actually gets more aggressive. He ditches his staff and he starts going on the rampage here. He can do a lot of damage to you if he catches you. So watch that attack in particular where he charges at you with a lot of sweeping claw attacks. That's pretty menacing. There's that crystal breath I'd mentioned. Oh, and he can close the gap pretty quickly, so you want to pay attention. Keep your head up. Fortunately, with the extra health, this seems to be going rather well. Now that tail attack, usually he'll follow up a rush attack with that tail sweep that surrounds him in that purple aura. So if you're ready for that, that's not too menacing either. He is a tough boss, but at the end of the day, you're still fighting algorithms. So if you pay attention, you can actually defeat this guy, without too much trouble. It might take you a few attempts to really get the rhythm of his attacks and then figure out the warning signs to his moves. But yeah, stick with it, guys, and you can do it. And that's that. Thank you, all three of you, for your help. That was fantastic, and you made this video go very smoothly. Thank you for that. Now, for my victory and for participating with the Warriors of the Sunlight, I got a Sunlight Medal. Those are very cool. They're very useful if you want to join the Warriors of the Sunlight Covenant. You offer them to the shrine, and they will deepen your bond to the Covenant. And that can unlock cool stuff like armor and spells. Now, each respective covenant has offerings. I don't know all of them off by heart. And actually, I'm not sure this Way of the Blue covenant has them. I'm not even sure what covenants I have, to be honest. I've joined a few of them. Blue Sentinels. Now these guys actually are the ones that get summoned to help the Way of the Blue. There is another one called the Blades of the Dark Moon. I don't think I have that one yet. This one is an invading covenant. Whenever a player enters a certain area, you will be summoned to try and kill them. I think this one does the same thing. I have no idea what this one does. And yeah, Warriors of the Sunlight, as I just mentioned. This seems like maybe a good spot to cut this short. I'm not sure what else I can show you guys. but I'll make another video shortly where we will proceed from this bonfire, presumably through this door. Yeah, that looks like a good spot. Okay, so that's it, guys. Hit the like button. Thank you very much, and we will see you in the next video.